Hello, now am I audible? Well, you have had a very long session from the morning. I can see some of you are a little bit tired. But this, what I am going to teach you, is not there in your books. It's not a law. So there are no sections. It's something to be just understood, simple. Not something to be mugged. Not something to be written specifically identical, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Sorry, this is not that. In ice gate, 1 plus 1 may today be equal to 2. Tomorrow, if somebody is brilliant enough, it can equal to 3. It's an evolving thing. Something which you learn to have fun with. The more you dwell into it, the more you understand it, the more you utilize it. It's not a part of your Customs Act. In the Act, you will only find some reference to it somewhere, but it's not a part of it. In the manual, yes. Because what exactly is ice gate? Anybody can precisely say in a few words? Somebody would like to try it? I'll just give you a mic so that those people can also listen. Yeah, you go ahead, till, yeah.
Hello, hello.
IGM can be done on ice gate. Is the place?
See, one second. Let me. Basic thing. Whenever you reply, see that you try to cover the full picture. This reply would basically cover maybe 2% or 3% of the whole. So that answer, though right, will not give you any marks. Will not give you any marks. It's right. It's not wrong, but it is not covering the full picture. Anybody else want to try? Yeah, tell me.
It is a website which is basically made for importers, exporters, and custom brokers. It helps us for basically doing everything, like whether it is filing of the bill of entry, you can get the IGM details out there, or it is checking the BRC status for exporters, or checking the shipping bill status, bill of entry status, or rather it just gives us a full updated status of the shipment, whether the out of charge is done or what is the current status, the duty can be paid or not.
I would say, chalo, 30-40% is covered. This is exactly what is the answer. It's a gateway to interact with the customs. Whether it is the interaction is done by a customs broker, whether the interaction is done by a shipping line, whether the interaction is done by other various government agencies, or by DGFT, or by RBI, it's a gateway. What you were previously doing prior to ice gate coming into play, or rather I would say prior to computerization coming into play, you were interacting with the government through a manual mode. That same manual mode has been now converted to an internet mode. You are interacting through a portal with the government, and the government is interacting in turn with you through the portal. So what you have essentially done, that's why it's not a part of the Customs Act. What you have done is whatever was there in the Customs Act, you are slowly converting it from the manual mode to an electronic mode. In fact, the current government has given a deadline to all its ministries. Henceforth, the ministry has to interact only with the public electronically. That's the deadline given by the current government, because there are various advantages of doing an interaction on the electronic mode. So the definition is Indian Customs. E stands for electronic data interchange, and gate stands for gateway. That itself covers everything. That's a communication between two parties, between multiple parties. Like I mentioned that there are 116 locations today which are online, on which you can do an electronic exchange. You need not go to that particular custom house for certain activities of clearances. Not everything is electronic yet. 98% paper, 98% is electronized. 2% is still on the manual mode where you need to go. But 98% of the work could be possible electronically, except where you have to physically check the goods. When there's a physical thing involved, that has still not been made electronic. I have to go and physically open the package, show the goods so that it can be tallied with the description. That we still have to work out how that also can be done in the future. Maybe some robots may be employed who may, when the marks and numbers come for examination, you have to examine this package. He should be able to retrieve the package, open the package, show the package, so that you don't have to send somebody down there. Maybe it's so. As I said, IceGate is an evolving thing. I cannot say this you will have to do 1 + 1. I will not say no, you will have to come and examine the goods here. Sorry, tomorrow you may be able to get it examined. I remember I had to go to the custom house to get what is known as a thoka in those days. Today you are calling it a bill of entry number or a shipping bill number. At that time it used to be an import thoka or an export thoka. Physically you had to go with a bill of entry. Some clerk would be sitting there who will be numbering it. Today's clearance cost sometimes used to be equivalent to the thoka cost. If there was a huge pendency, you used to ask, please give me $1,000 if you want out of turn. Today's clearance cost was equivalent just to a thoka cost. So this is an evolving thing. What you are trying to do is you are trying to replicate the procedures in the manual mode to an electronic mode. And where you feel it is redundant, you dispose it off. While you replicate it, automatically you find ways and means to say this is not required. So half your procedures get dumped in the process, the system becomes efficient automatically. When you start logically thinking to convert it into an electronic mode, you will have to have a message exchange, what is known as a message exchange. I have to send the message across in a particular format. When I am doing that message exchange, I have to devise the formats. I find, why do we require this? Let's do away with it. So automatically the processes get speeded up. It's an auto process. Like I said, they are already in existence at 116 locations. These could be gateway ports, ICDs, land stations, airports, all of it. Second, today 24,000 users are using the IceGate. When you use the word users, this is equivalent to, it could be a customs broker, it could be an importer doing it in self, it could be an exporter doing in self, it could be various other agencies who have been given passwords to check the data. 24,000 users are actually using the IceGate. You can imagine the system is so robust. If 24,000 users, because IceGate is now today it is at only one location, Delhi. Centralized server is there. If 24,000 people had to come to a single location, what would have happened? To transact any business, 24,000 people coming, it would have collapsed. But when it is an electronic format, systems can still function. So that's the huge advantage, is that it can take in any amount of volumes. Unlike a manual thing, an electronic facility offers a huge advantage. It can just simply multiply 10 times, 100 times the volumes available. What you need would be an extra strong server. Today the railway server is practically handling lakhs of transactions a day. And flawlessly, if I book the ticket, when I go there, I find, yes, it belongs to me. There are no 10 people waiting. I have also got the same number. I have never seen while traveling all these years that happens. No. When the ticket is allotted to me, I am only the person who's claiming that berth. So it's a flawlessness. There's no, this. Consider in the manual days, it was a huge problem. Huge problem. In ticketing also there used to be huge problems. He'll then tell you, oh, sorry, gentleman has made an error by issuing the ticket, you please take some other berth, we'll make some arrangements. That efficiency level has gone up tremendously. The accuracy has gone up tremendously. 6.72 lakh importers and exporters today are serviced by IceGate. When you say 24,000 users, as a broker I may be dealing on behalf of 5,000 clients. So the number of importers and exporters being serviced are 6.72 lakh. That is the kind of reach it has got. As far as the agencies which are handling with the IceGate, you have what is known as NIDB. NIDB is a government agency which collates the data, which analyzes the data on the import side, and you have export commodity database on the export side. Their job is to analyze what is happening, what is the trend, which item is suddenly shooting up in terms of import. Because without this information, you cannot take a decision whether to, you must be aware now, some days back, suddenly gold was freed for import. Anybody can now import gold. They came out with this. How do they take that decision? That is because you have a centralized database, which we are calling as 1.5 today, ICS 1.5. There, any import through 116 location is collated. You have a clear picture. What is the type of import? Type in the sense is a manufacturer importing it, a trader is importing it. You have a clear picture there. You have the total volumes imported in terms of tons or any other unit, and you have the value. So you, on those basis, you are able to take an immediate decision what the government wants to do. In the past, when you had the manual mode, you had to collate that information, ask every commissionerate, 116 of them, you will have to ask, please send in a report saying what was the number of tons of this item imported in the month of December, let's say. All 116 will send it to the center will collate it. So by the time you take an action, possible the trend has reversed. If you wanted to open up the imports, let's say, it's possible that in January the imports have gone up so much that you may have postponed the whole thing, but you will not know at the time of doing it. That is because of the speed of the IceGate, because of the speed of collation, that today you are able to take an immediate decision if you want to act. You want to stop exports of rice overnight. That's possible. Because you have seen that every day the number of tons which is going out, shipping bills filed, is just increasing, and there is a likelihood shortage here. You can act immediately. You need not wait for a month just to collect the data, because by that time it could be too late. You may have severe shortages for the domestic industry. This is what is the role of IceGate, that it not only collates the information, but it permits speedy analysis of the information. It permits the government to act immediately. So if you see the this given to you, presentation given to you, on the page number, there are the advantages mentioned therein. It's not there? Yeah. First it says paperless office. This is a misnomer. Misnomer because the number of papers which we were previously giving to the government for clearance has not gone down at all. Maybe 1 or 2 papers here and there have gone down, but what we were submitting previously, let's say 10 papers, today we are submitting 7 papers. So to say it's a paperless office is a misnomer. What they mean to say when they use the word paperless office is that you need not present the paper before the officer. You are giving the paper at the end of the clearance. After the clearance, we are giving a docket to them. But for assessment, you need not give a set of papers to the officer. Even for examination, there is no need to give a paper to the officer. He can see it on the system and decide what he wants to do. So when he says the word paperless office, it's a misnomer, but if actually number of papers have not gone down, the number of papers have literally stagnant, and which we are now trying to replicate by saying that whatever file work is done in the customs would be done electronically. They will be given a digital signature, so they will feed everything electronically. The files will move also electronically, rather than what is happening nowadays. They are taking from you the set of the documents, preparing a note sheet and all that. That would slowly change over to electronic transmission. Second is the fast clearance. Here, if somebody has been in the field for 15 years, he would be able to tell us whether actually there has been an increase, speed increases there or not. Do you find that there is a faster clearance? Any of you is there who has done some years in the field? Yeah, tell me, what's your experience?